Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a plant update. In case you haven't seen my plant tour, I'll go ahead and link it right up here and it'll be on the little clickable I button. But I have gotten quite a few more plants since then, and then I have a few updates on a few plants that are no longer with us. I'm sure you guys can guess. If you've seen the tour, you probably can guess which one plant is no longer with us. It was really sad, but we got new plants. Alright, we can go ahead and start. So I don't really know a lot of the plant names because I always throw away I always throw away a lot of the papers. I always throw away a lot of the papers that tell us like what the name of the plants are. So I can only pretty much show you. I know a few of the names, but a lot of them I am not sure about. But yeah, this one I actually have an update with this one. I did have this one whenever I did have this one in the last plant tour, but I did change the pot and it has gotten bigger and it looks like it's trailing off now. But there's the update for this guy. I believe this one, this next one is new, and so this one is just gorgeous. We're getting a lot of new growth right in here, and I recently had to treat all of my plants actually for fungus gnats because they were everywhere and they would not leave us alone. You know, you can see them like buzzing on the screen and stuff. So here is this one. This one was actually recently treated once again because I was fearful that there would still be gnats, so I went ahead and treated them again. And if you guys want to see what I treat them with or how I do that, go ahead and let me know. Alright, something really funny right here. I have this snake plant that I actually was propagating from a plant from work, and so yeah, I propagated it in water for a while, and then I actually ended up just putting it in this pot because the roots were getting really big. So I hope she works out. I'll keep you guys updated. I did have this plant in the last plant tour. It does have a few of the tips that are a little bit brown, but for the most part we're getting a lot of new growth in, and most of them don't have the browning. I am honestly assuming that the sun is hitting them and it's kind of burning them, but since we have a skylight in the apartment, it's really hard for them not to get sun, unless like the actual sun to hit them, unless I put them in like a particular area, because the sun will like move across the apartment. And another little snake plant. This one is really cute and it's spirally. She's doing really good too. Here we have a new leaf coming in, or are they leaves? Well, whatever these are, I would assume they're leaves, but yeah, we have another one. And I do want to propagate this one soon, so if you guys want to see that, I can also make a video on that. Moving up here, this is my newest addition to the plant family. This is just another aloe vera. I have two aloe veras and this is just one of them. But yeah, so that's just an aloe vera right there. And then this jade plant right here, it's actually not in this pot yet, just because it's still in its trial run. I got it from a hardware store and it came with mealybugs. I had to treat it and yeah, it's looking pretty okay, but it is still in its trial run, so I haven't yet to repot it because of that, just to make sure that everything is, like, all of those bugs are dead. And yeah, so I'm hoping that it is doing better. I mean, it's still definitely putting out new growth, but when it had those bugs, it was still putting out growth, which is insane. Good for you, jade plant. Alright, up here we have my boyfriend's coffee tree. Actually got it trimmed today, so that's what this little guy is. And then behind it, I have this little succulent right here. Not really sure what it is. It used to bloom. And I think this one bloomed pink flowers, but it has just been putting out a lot of like new growth around the sides. So I'm happy with it. I don't really mind that it doesn't bloom, but I think it's also like not in the correct lighting, and since I live in an apartment, I can't just like face it. Like I don't have any windows that face west at all or north. I only have a south facing window and a east facing window, so it's really hard for me to just be like, oh, let me put it on this window and it'll get the best light. Like I don't have a lot of options in that sense. And then down here, I'm gonna actually go ahead and show you both of these because they are the same plant, except one of them is like the speckled, or it just has this like lighter design on the leaf, but they are the same plant. And both of these I did have whenever I did the original plant tour. They've gotten way bigger and they did get repotted. I don't really know when to move them to a bigger pot. Like they're doing really good. And these, I can actually tell you what they are. These are the Peperomia green. And I believe this is a Peperomia, but like the speckled one. So they're both doing great, living their best lives, honestly. Growing, thriving. Yeah, here are these two. Alrighty. Then back here, right here we have a little hedgehog with a tiny little plant. It's actually a cutting because my plant actually got really long, and so I just trimmed it. And so this is the very, very top of that plant. It rooted really well, so I just replanted it into the soil. But I do have another cutting of the same plant. So here is a little cutting of this plant right here. Oh, I just lost wood. So this plant I propagated, and so this is its little cutting that I am planning on giving to Ruby. If you haven't seen that video, I'll go ahead and link it in the above. But you go ahead and watercolor and follow the tutorial. Sorry, I'm trying to like get this jade plant to not fall in the water. So yeah, I'm also propagating a little jade leaf with the tiniest little root right here, and so hopefully we'll have a new jade plant out of that. But it falls into the water, so I have to prop it up against this other guy. It's a struggle, guys. I don't have a proper propagation system, which I'm so excited to get someday. But right now, this is my propagation system. Alrighty, and moving right along, we have this guy. He is an original, an OG from the plant tour, and what ended up happening with it is the lower leaves ended up dying on this, and so I had to like cut them all off and like treat the soil. I added like some banana peel to the soil, and then I ended up making sure that like I watered it with the water that doesn't have fluoride in it, and so now it's finally back up. But for some reason it was just not. It was dying, honestly, and it was really scary and sad, and I was like, can I save it? But I did. I saved it, and now here it is. It's really cute. A lot of growth. Honestly, like, it won't stop popping out leaves, which I'm really happy about, but there was a little bit of a scare there, and you can still see like some of the remnants of the old leaves down here. So here's this guy. It has really long stems now, but compared to the original, it looks very different. Moving over here, we have this plant right here. I've had this plant for a while as well, but in the tour, it was only green because it wasn't getting enough sunlight. So now that it's getting enough sunlight, it's turned its beautiful pink color, which is really fun. It's also gotten really long. This part of it right here goes like lower than the pot, so might need to repot it soon. I'm not really sure, but it seems happy. It's growing, and I'm getting a lot of new growth also on the top. So yeah, here's this guy. Right behind it, I got this pot, or this plant. I got this plant right after Christmas. It's one of those little blooming succulents that you get during Christmas. And so I went in and it had already bloomed, so they had cut off like the flowers like where they had bloomed, and they were selling it like really inexpensive, and I was like, oh, that's a cute little plant. So I got it, and now it is in my house growing away. It's honestly grown quite a bit, but yeah, here's this little cute little guy. And it's like my favorite little pot because it's just so cute and tiny. But here's this little guy. I have this new plant right here, and it's doing pretty good. At first when I got it, it was really stagnant. It wasn't growing at all. So now it's finally growing, putting out some new growth. But you have to really try different areas of your house and figure out what it is that particular plants like. So this one I had to hang by a window on a like macrame plant hanger, and that's what like got it to be like better. But you really do have to figure out what it is the specific plant likes. Next to this guy, I have my philodendron. It's orange right here. As you can see, it gets named for the orange leaves it puts out. This one is new, and I actually ended up getting it because one of my friends let me know that our local nursery had it, and so I went and picked it up. And it is really pretty and growing in really well. We have lots of new growth down here, but also up in the top. So I'm really excited to see what becomes of my Prince of Orange. The peace lily right here. I've had my peace lily, I believe, for a really long time, but it will put out growth, but the leaves end up really, they end up getting really brown, not only like tips, but like brown like all the way and then dying. So I don't have like the really pretty big leaves. I don't really know what's going on with this guy. I'm trying a new place, so less light, but a new spot for it that has less light, and I don't know what is up with it, but I'm trying to make it grow as fast as I can. But I guess it has gotten a little bit taller, but the leaves just don't stay. And also I've had it bloom maybe once. I think once, yeah. On to the next. Alright, we have this little guy. I think he's also new. I used to have two of them, and that's why it's so off-center. Like, it's all the way on this side. But there was two of them. It was a smaller one on this side, and the other one just kind of like died. And so this guy's like flourishing after the other little guy died. So I don't know, but it's doing really good. It also has like the peak edges on the side. So I guess I like things that are like pink. I don't know. Yeah, here is this plant. Alright, and we're down to like the last two plants. I'll go ahead and do this one. It's also a new one, and since it still has its original packaging, I can tell you it's a different differentiatia. Probably saying that really wrong, but that's what it is. I'll go ahead and put it right here. That's what it is. And I actually had to spray this one down as well because we had a lot of spiders in our room, and I think this plant ended up having some spider mites, but it seems to be doing good. I never saw the spider mites, so I don't know if it was in the soil, but I also treated the soil for mites and mealybugs and stuff. Here is this little guy. Okay, and we're down to our last plant, the this one was also an OG, and this is a Dracania. You can see that there's a lot of growth here in the top, and it has gotten quite a bit bigger. I usually keep it up on like a shelf. It's getting quite big, but it's exciting, honestly. So yeah, this is my last plant in the update. But yeah guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye!